Alright, it's kind of funny, but I get comments from people, and they always tell me, why don't you get out of the suburbs and face reality? And it's funny, like, I can't even get upset because it's more funny, because I know that they don't know. They probably don't know what the suburbs are like. I don't even know what suburbs are like across America. All I can do is tell you about the suburbs in Southern California. First things first, the suburbs are not what you think. It's not just comprised of college-educated white people. You have certain segments where you will find people like that, but your typical middle class suburb area has all types of people. You have blue-collar people who, I don't know, the mom's a secretary and the dad's a plumber, right, who live in the suburbs. One of my neighbors, I talked about it in a video before, is an ex-cholo gangbanger who owns his own body shop, right? That's the suburbs I live in. It's not what you think. There's Asians, Middle Easterns, single moms, bachelor dudes. Like, it's not what you see on TV. Because I think that's what a lot of people are coming from now. It has more to do with, I guess you can break down the suburbs into, lower middle class, middle class, and upper middle class. I'm kind of between middle class and lower middle class, right? So the people around me aren't just white people. My neighbors growing up as a kid were Middle Eastern. And they owned a dry cleaning shop. So that's the suburbs I come from. And just to let people know. I'm not trying to say that there's not typical suburbs in terms of what you see on TV and all the stereotypes. Yes, there are places like that. Those gated communities and all that shit. But that's not typical for all suburbs. Secondly, the suburbs, not all suburbs are gated communities and separated, like they're not their own little cities. Alright? Literally, they're separated by housing units and streets. If anybody knows the LA area, they can tell you all about this. Literally, you have the stars where the stars hang out, Bentleys, Aston Martins, all that shit, and 2 minutes you're in the hood. Crackheads and, bums everywhere. That's how dynamic it is. So there's a constant mix. And I live about 40 minutes away from LA. So, literally, there's pockets of middle class, super middle class, and low income areas and hood areas. They're all mixed up. We all go to the same schools. There's this concept that I went to a school like some shit you'd see on Clueless or something. Nah, it's not like that. It's all mixed up. So you get a little bit of everything. And then thirdly, I still have family that lives in the hood that I'm close with. As a kid, I used to spend my Christmas vacations in Los Angeles. So I know what's going on. Like I said, I'm not mad, but it's just funny how people want to discredit what you say because I'm not from the hood. Like, all of a sudden, if you're just from the hood, you're qualified. And I think Sergeant Willie Pete said it in one of his vids when he was talking about how, living in the suburbs, you face racism. People just talk about it, but you actually face it. You walk into a bank. I've been to a bank, in a low poverty area. Ain't nobody worried about anybody. Because no one really has money. But if you go to some of the banks in the middle class area, you see people, hey, what are you doing here? You know, ladies clench their purse a little bit tighter, especially at the ATM, those outside ATMs. So my viewpoint is very much wide. It's not a narrow-minded focus. Especially being a black male, like, you can't hide. Like being black and a male, like, there's nothing I can do. That's the misconception that a lot of people have, like, as if that I can hide. Oh, you're hiding in the middle class. I stick out more in the middle class than I would if I didn't come from the middle class, or the suburb, excuse me. So at the end of the day, I mean, you shouldn't discredit somebody just because of where they live or where they're from, especially if you don't really know the conditions to where they live. I can't really speak on people from the hood or who live in low-income areas because I didn't live from, you know, where they're from, but I don't discredit what they say. So they shouldn't discredit what I have to say. But it's understandable because, you know, you guys don't really know me like that. So anyways, I just wanted to clarify that shit. So hopefully you guys understand, or you have a different viewpoint of what the suburbs really are as opposed to what you might see on TV. Thanks.